Keke Palmer was recently doing her thing on her podcast, and Keke recently shared that she felt like high-earning women like her often feel boxed in.
Yes, there are some women that say, oh no, I need a man to make more than me. But there's a lot more women who are actually willing to compromise.
I think women who are in a financially advantageous position may have to broaden their perspective.
You want somebody to match your energy. She's asking for peace. Emotional intelligence is the new luxury. Keke Palmer was recently doing her thing on her podcast, and Keke recently shared that she felt like high-earning women like her often feel boxed in when it comes to love. She's challenging the idea that being financially successful somehow will limit your dating pool. She's saying, like, just pick who you pick. Your income makes you too intimidating to be loved the way you want, then just keep looking for someone who's not intimidated. So tonight, what I guess I really want to ask is, can a woman thrive financially and still find genuine financial partnership? Or are we still hung up on outdated ideas about power and compatibility? Like, does everybody have to be 6 feet tall, 6 figures still? Keke says no, I think. What do y'all think?
First, can I just say, I don't know if there was any episode on the BLC pod where I said anything that made it seem like I ain't got love for Keke Palmer, but if I did, Keke, and you watching, girl, I wasn't really familiar with Keke initially. There was that whole situation they had with her whole boyfriend situation. There was some little questionable things, the whole Usher thing with her outfit choice, right, in particular, but other things. So I was like looking at her with a little side eye. And plus she's young. I mean, she's probably old enough to be my daughter. So, whatever. But I thought she'd make a great Angela Bassett in the Angela Bassett story. So anyways, she's a very talented young lady. But anyways, so at first I didn't really know her like that, right? And so when she was doing some stuff, I don't know. But lately, when I saw her on Club Shay Shay, that young lady is very mature for her age. Very mature for her age. You know what I'm saying? And when I heard this conversation, it was right in line with the type of wisdom that she seemed to share. She was talking like an auntie, but she was like in a young girl's body. Kudos to Keke. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, she still misstepped. She was young. But like the depth of wisdom. So for her, like talking about the challenges, and I get that. But she strikes me, and I think I've heard her say this, like she wouldn't let money get in the way of her finding love for real, for real. She doesn't use that metrics as a disqualifier for her to find somebody that she could build with for real, for real. And if you don't believe me, look at her baby daddy, right? So my point is, he's still asking, Keke, do you love me? Are you right? No. She's like, no, I'm not in anyone. But anyways, and I didn't even know that, like, if you remember the music video that I was from, I think Drake looked like he was a little poop-butt nigga, and old girl was, anyways, the point is, right, that I think women who are in a financially advantageous position may have to broaden their perspectives, have to open their minds, maybe have to hear the wisdom from the mouth of babes to realize that, yes, I get it. Money's important, but shorty, if you got it, what else do you need in your life, right? Is there a man that can compliment you, right? That can hold you down, that can support you? Listen, I was joking before about the trapper, woman baby or whatever, but the truth is there are guys who can be masculine, who are great men out there, who can also be nurturers, who can be great partners and supporters of their women, dominating out there in the world, right? But still being able to handle things in their relationship the right way or whatever way is right for them. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. That's why that girl, the way that she handled money, I think there's a lot of wisdom, and maybe more young ladies should follow that version of Keke, just not the one that was wearing that tacky outfit at the Usher concert. You know what I'm saying? Or the one that got knocked up by a nigga that she wasn't married to. But listen, like I said, everybody makes choices in their lives, right? And I think she is going places. And so I'll just say, listen, she does present a really good point, because I feel like far too many people are living for other people, right? Like, you're afraid of what? How your girlfriends and your country club vibes are going to look at you for dating a dude who may not be whatever, but like they're lonely, they're single or unhappy. Like, do you want to live? We got to stop living for other people, y'all. And we also, and part of doing that is defining for ourselves what we prioritize and why, right? Like, if you got it, in terms of financially, and you may need him to at least hold his own down, and he's not taking away anything from you, and he can add to you in so many different ways, what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? But I feel like so many women get hung up, and then they want to complain. And honestly, y'all pretend like y'all don't hold shit over niggas, but the fact that y'all don't even think y'all should even be dating them niggas, even when you give them a chance, guess what? They can still smell that. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to believe that as many of y'all successful women that are talking about, you know how many men out there are insecure? But I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are. And I'm sure you did absolutely nothing to contribute to that, huh? So in conclusion, I'll just say, man, if y'all want happiness, find it where it lies within yourself truly, not where you think it should lie because that's what other people think. You know what I'm saying? And Keke Palmer, man, she does. She's absolutely right. Kudos to her. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what movie she does next. I'm not going to go see it, but I might mention it on the show on her behalf. You know what I'm saying? That girl is talented and she is wise beyond her years. High earning women do deserve love, but they deny it to themselves because they go by outdated. You want to talk about outdated? They go by things that just don't benefit them. Find a man who loves you for you, girl, and not just your money. Okay? You're welcome.
I actually concur with a portion of what you said, Nick, in regards to finding someone who loves you for you and not having other people dictate what your relationship should look like. I think though that we do a disservice to a certain group of women. Like I know we're talking about high earners, but Pookie and Ray Ray, who's driving their girlfriend car, probably think their girlfriend is a high earner and they gave that man a chance. I think we don't acknowledge the amount of women, aka Black women, who actually would be considered a high earner compared to their male counterpart that they're currently with, as hey, they did give this person a chance. They are looking for love, like Baby Boys, shows like that summed it up, where these guys are literally taking advantage because they try and get their rap career off the ground, or they're trying to let me stop. I ain't gonna go for the rappers, whatnot. But anyways, the point I'm making is that I think we do a disservice by assuming that everybody is looking for that man that makes more than them, right? That's why you have so many women who actually are cool with 50-50 in that example, right? And then you have the women who talk about the traditional conversation of with men. I think that's the social media that is putting that out there. I think social media has made it seem like this is what we want, this is what we need, because of this whole soft life era that social media is saying that we need to be in. And I think that's where we need to focus away from, because at the end of the day, if you go out in the streets, yes, there are some women that say, oh no, I need a man to make more than me. But there's a lot more women who are actually willing to compromise on whatever it is because they want that man in the house with them, or because there's a saying, I'd rather have a no good ass man than no man at one point for certain generations. And so while this sounds like I'm all over the place, it's because I
It
honestly
does.
feel mixed. I have mixed feelings about this. I think that we do a disservice to the women who aren't necessarily at the value where Keke is, but they still consider high earners and have high value for whoever they're with, because that person may have less. Now, when we talk about the extremely high value, like, so for example, what's your favorite person that you like to talk about, Nick? The one who
Myself,
had the baby impregnated herself,
myself.
the Tetsu baby.
Ebony K.
Yeah, that's her. Like, so people like her, who's on the extreme end, opposite end of this conversation, like, no, you have to make more than me. I'm not dating a bus driver. I'm not dating this. He got to do that. Those people's voices are so loud that we don't see the voices like Keke, who's like, no, I'm good with this. I'm good with making more than my man. And because I'm looking for love, I'm looking for these other characteristics, and money isn't the thing that I go by. What I will note though is that there have been studies that show that some men egos cannot handle when the woman makes more than them. And we do talk about, somebody say, well, it could be their attitude. It could be like, do they throw it in their face and so forth. But there actually said there's studies that outside all those contexts, they state that the male ego feel threatened if their partner earns more than them, simply because of the way society is set up. And so they feel like they don't have the same respect if their partner makes more than them. And respect is important for men. So
I think there are also studies that would show that there are some women whose egos feel threatened when their dude look better than them. It just, you know what I'm saying? It's just, if you think
Facts.
did you make this study up? Because I could
look,
cite my study.
look,
Where your study at?
my study is the fact that women get jealous when their girlfriend look better than them. Now, say something.
Well,
Say
there's
something.
Or when
actually
men
a
can't eat a
study.
prize.
Well,
Right.
no, there's actually a study that shows that women actually hurt. They set women up. There was a study that actually came out pertaining to that.
They pick right. Women go out and they try to pick more unattractive people to be in their crew so they can look better. We know what y'all love too. We peeped it. But anyway, it's a whole nother story. So in the vein of killing all the noise, which hopefully I began to do with the first statement, Keke is letting everybody know what I've been saying all this time, is that she does not need a man who makes what she makes. She needs a man who understands who she is. That's what you need, ladies. Y'all so stuck on income brackets, you miss the real flex. It's emotional alignment. She's not asking for a matching paycheck. I'm not looking for a matching paycheck. You want somebody to match your energy. She's asking for peace. Kiki's not choosing a man for his money, his status, or his clout. How many likes he got, how many followers she got. She's trying to start choosing based on emotional presence, security without ego, love that doesn't compete, it complements. And that scares folks, especially men sometimes who are still trying to prove their worth with their wallet, who got to show up with their character instead of just the commas in a bank account. But newsflash, emotional intelligence is the new luxury. Emotional intelligence is the flex, y'all. You say you want a high value woman until she defines value for herself. And when she start making her own valuations, even the other women who say they're high value women, they criticize her. And when that definition doesn't center them in their paradigm, then now even she's too independent for y'all. And men sometimes men do feel emasculated, but that's their projection. And that's not her problem. It should not be any part of her perspective. And I'm glad she didn't put it in her paradigm. Keke is not confused. I applaud her. Keke, girl, I'm here for you. I've been with you ever since you won that spelling bee. You know what I'm talking about. She know exactly what she's doing. She's leading with her heart and not her bank account. She's done trying to shrink from fragile men. She's done trying to be what everybody thinks she should be with. And I agree with that. She doesn't need a man. She's getting to the point where now she's going to choose a man. And that's a place of power. She doesn't need a man. She got a baby already.
All women
got a baby already.
No, all women
and she had a baby with a dude.
No, she needs a man. But listen,
I like the phrase, she doesn't need a man. She doesn't wants a man
she needs to
as a
choose
companion.
a man. Because I'm going to tell you, if she's not a whole individual by herself, and she's waiting on some dude to come along and make her whole.
How do we get down this? She's not whole within herself. What the fuck are we talking about?
Saying she need a man. I'm saying she needs to be whole in herself, man, and her own.
Bullshit, man, about the need a man. That wasn't the crux of what you were saying. It was just take everything and run with it.
It was part of a phrase, man. You cut me in the middle. It was part of a phrase.
Oh, my bad.
Okay. So my point here is this, I applaud Keke. I think she has learned the lessons that people learn from maturity and the wisdom that comes from experience. And she has found out that you had best pick your person, not upon what they make, not even what they do, but who they are, what their values and principles are, what they stand on. And if they vibe with you and if they have the emotional intelligence to work out the differences between you. So Keke, you doing it right, girl. You all grown up now and I see it.
Yes, I mean the way you said that towards the end there, Jay. You were Keke calling
right.
like she's of age. She's of age. I mean,
she's over 18 now. You know.
I mean, you just mentioned the whole spelling. Anyways, I believe that alone. So first of all, I mean, my brain, I just paying attention real time.
You've been scoping since then.
So I want to push back on S&M so bad because first of all, I want to call cap on a couple of things. This idea of what a higher earner is, y'all, it is emblematic of the Lulu that y'all women be under, right? And this is part of the problem, meaning that just because, sis, you make $70,000 a year, not you in particular, I'm just talking about women in general, that feel like, oh, I make 70, I'm a high earner. This Pookie and Ray is just taking advantage of all the wealth that I... Girl,
it's a high earner when Pookie and Ray ain't got shit.
What you're trying to do with the grading on the curve, I'm just trying to tell the American people, sis, your 70,000 does not make you a high earner. Sorry. It makes you a decent earner, a good earner. You're above median. But like, I feel like, and I'm going somewhere with this, because some of these same women who feel like they make 70,000 are that much better than some guy who makes 50. Because guess what? They think you guessed it, S&M, relative to that nigga, that they are a high earner. And you're not. Maybe relative to him. And that's part of the delulu that's stopping some of these regular ass, earning ass women from being with men because they're too busy looking down their noses at them because they make a couple of $1,000s more than them and maybe have a degree, etc. Right? You got regular ass women. If Keke, do you love me, who makes way more money, is probably way more talented than the majority of these women who talk like this, can say, hey, you know what? I realize there's more out there than guess what? Yo $70,000 making ass can too. So let's stop. And then we always got to compare it to the Pookie who has absolutely nothing. I love the boogeyman Pookie when it fits my argument. In this particular case, that's not the case. These women are probably dating dudes, again, within proximity of their income level. Just because the shit didn't work out, just because you gave your box up for the low, does not mean that some how he's a pookie, like not in the financial way. It wasn't like you had to give him money. So what if he borrowed your car a couple of times? He put gas in it. But the point I'm trying to make is that we got to distinguish between the regular ass women who are making regular ass money, who somehow get inflated egos because they think they're that much better relatively to the nigger than what the market says or what niggas in general are doing. Okay? That's what we want to pause there. This conversation was about high earning women like the Ebony case who made the choice to ride it out alone. And we're seeing what that choice looks like. Keke wants something different for herself. So for those women who maybe make 150, who maybe make these women, I would say, yes, queen, you're making 200,000. Yes, you're a high earner. Cool. Do you have somebody? Do you want somebody? Let's start there. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, yes, it may be hard, but it's not impossible. Some of y'all talking about dating Mike, if that's what the fuck it takes. But listen, with all the options shit y'all got out there, stop fucking complaining. If you all that in the bag of chips, which some of y'all are not, but I get it because you got a degree, you make a certain amount of money, cool. But prove it. Stop talking about it and be about it. You know what I'm saying? I get tired of hearing that shit. So at least Keke is saying, hey, you know what? I'm smart. I have wisdom. I understand that a relationship is more than just money. So you know what? I'm going to open up my dating pool? Wow, that's a fucking crazy concept, huh? The fuck are we talking about? That's all he's basically saying, right? And the fact that we even have this conversation and bust out the pookies to have it is sad. It's a sad commentary.
See, I'm gonna push back on your pushback because I wasn't talking in regards to those women who are in proximity. I'm talking about we don't give the women who do give those people credit. Like the people who give the pookies and ray rays, we're not giving them credit. We're acting like all women out here
not Raishas.
Right,
I'm saying we're acting like all women out here aren't engaging with homosexuals. We're acting like all women out here ain't letting men in their lives just because they got some good dick. And that's what I'm saying is that part. So when you're talking about the 70,000 to the 50,000 in proximity, and that's a completely different conversation from where I was going.
Which is also a completely different conversation.
Yeah,
wait,
exactly.
what? And so what I'm saying is what I'm saying is that we don't give enough credit to the women that do engage with men who are making significantly less than them. We don't give enough credit to that. Just like I pointed out that we don't give enough credit for the women who support 50-50.
That's not true.
That's also another way where men are, but I'm saying
you know where they get credit from? When they married. When they have a successful relationship.
You said that's when they'll get credit?
Yes. What the fuck is the point? When should we give people credit for real? Like, we just go, you've been in a relationship for 6 months.
Right. Everybody gets a certificate.
What the fuck?
So basically what you're saying is that Keke gets no fucking credit then right now, even though that's her mindset, because she's not married.
No.
Keke is speaking to an ideology that I believe can help women get married. So we don't have to abandon marriage as a whole just for you to be right, S&M. Right?
No, I'm just saying, the way you was making it sound like, you made it sound like without marriage that the people ain't got no credibility. That's all I'm saying. That's what it made it sound like.
No, I wasn't talking.
That's why I say I'm gonna get that Woman D shirt, because that's what it sounded like to me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure it's gonna be some folks who felt the same way. But what I do want to say in regards to, I actually think it's a feather in a man's hat when the woman feels like she doesn't necessarily need him in the traditional sense of what need is, but wants him, because that means he's bringing value somewhere else. He's bringing value via another mechanism, like the emotional intelligence that Jay talked about. I think that when somebody wants the companionship of that man, then like I said, it's a feather in their hat. So I don't think necessarily, so when you say need, I think I'd rather have somebody who wants versus need, because need to me, when we talk about needs, means like I can't live without you, or because I need your resources, or I need this, or I need that, versus I want you because I love you, or you compliment me, or you're bringing this and you're making me whatever, you know? That's why.
If you wait long enough, it should be making sense. You just got to wait on it. You just sitting.
Is that what it is? Because
you just got to wait.
It hasn't resonated. I'm still waiting. I'm like,
whatever. Anyways, you know what you can be waiting on? You can be waiting on friends and expectations. How about that? No, since you still waiting.
That bus still ain't come, dog.
Whatever.
Where's my schedule today?
Whatever. That's what I'm going to say. That whatever. I have a valid point. Multiple points.
There was one there somewhere.
We're going to have mad women in the comment, probably commenting to my points being valid, because there's a lot of women who think like me, who say, I don't want to need you. I want you. And there's a significant difference between that. And Keke is saying, I don't need you because I'm taking care of the financial piece. I want you in my life.
Okay. I'll say so. Okay, so y'all drawing a distinction that because she doesn't need someone financially, that means that she couldn't need them in other ways. Because that's cap
No,
too,
I'm
right?
saying she's
No, we're not
saying they want. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
Okay.
I want you because you're bringing other value. I don't need this particular thing. You know, the Maslow hierarchy.
No, that's not.
You know,
No. I'm asking y'all. Okay, it sounds like y'all are assuming that because she makes more money, that she's automatically going to want. That means that she just wants the person because she doesn't need them. And I'm trying to draw the distinction between if y'all feel like the only way a woman can need a man is financially. That's what it sounds like
I'm
you're
not saying
saying.
that.
Okay, cool. All right, if you're not saying that, that's cool.
Not
Because
saying.
what I'm saying is that, yeah, okay, great. Because what I'm saying is other ways that a woman can need a man. It doesn't have to be financially. And so if we're trying to differentiate between she wanting a man or needing a man, I mean, who cares? Did the relationship last or not? You know, we spend so much fucking time in these like word salad shits. Like in 20 some odd years, right? Does it matter? Can you define whether I need my wife or I want my wife? Who's going to draw that distinction for real, for real? After 20 years, I can't even really see my life without her for real, for real. Does that mean I need her or do I just want her? Like, y'all could spend the time doing a semantic dance. Who fucking cares? Did it help? Did it hold the relationship together? Did it make the relationship better? Right? So I get it. Maybe you don't want to interpret your perspective is I just want my significant other. I don't need them. Cool. Somebody else may be different. So I don't care about that. I just care about does it last? Right. And all I'm saying is that to me, that wise young woman tells me that she might understand that value doesn't just come from money. So there may be things that she values in a man that she feels she needs in order to submit to him, even though she makes more money than him. Is that a thing? So regardless of how y'all want to use the word, there are some women who will say that a man, she needs a man to show up a certain type of way. So again, she could say she wants a man to show up a certain
just
type
like
of way.
she needs dick, she needs this. You could put need anywhere, like you said,
Exactly.
interchangeably. Okay, so you know what? We're
Thank you
gonna
for
move
coming around to my
on
side, answer there.
because I was like, I see where you're going with this, with the semantics and whatnot. So you know what? Let's talk about expectations because clearly we had different expectations on what that conversation was about and where we was going with it.